Welcome to Pure Intuitive Talk with me, Trish Smith. I'm a multi-dimensional channeler sharing my gift to assist others to connect and work with their whole being, helping bring them into a beautiful way of high-frequency living. Immerse yourself in an hour of nourishment that feeds your spiritual journey and invites you to embrace your empowered soul. You'll feel armed with new understandings for how to shift from pain to love as we explore topics from shamanic sound healing to gut health. Are you ready to take accountability for the impact that we have on the world around us and learn new tools and techniques to feel whole again? Of course you are, and you're in the right place. Pure Intuitive Talk starts now. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Pure Intuitive Talk. I'm your host, Trish Smith, and you're tuned into Transformation Talk Radio. Hello, welcome. Right now, we're in December of 2025, so we're coming up on the holidays, and I don't know that I know anybody who's not stressed out. And that's just generally speaking, right? So one of my favorite and most used tools is emotional freedom technique. So I decided that I wanted to dedicate an entire episode to training on emotional freedom technique. There are tons of videos on YouTube about it, right? I learned it well over 15 years ago. I was using it with a practitioner for my own anxiety and panic attacks after being attacked and kidnapped. Because as I've shared before, I wanted to find all of the natural ways to support my healing and my central nervous system. And this technique has been something that has served me really well over the last 15 plus years that I've been using it. And I've been teaching it to clients. I've been teaching it in classes that I teach. And if we're being honest, a couple of weeks ago, I even went over and did a house call for a really close friend of mine's mother who had been experiencing most likely non-epileptic seizures. Doctors don't know. And I have been given some of the most incredible feedback, and I also have my own incredible feedback with using this tool. So a couple of weeks ago, I went over and visited with my friend's mother. She'd been experiencing these episodes where part of her face is getting kind of droopy. Her body goes into a little bit of convulsions. The tests at the hospital were normal, those kinds of things. We don't know what's causing it, you know. And so I went over, taught her the emotional freedom technique. And then when I saw her the following week, she looked good, told me she hasn't been having any more of the episodes. She was having 2 to 3 of them a day for a couple of weeks, and she only had 3 different days where she wasn't experiencing them. Huge, right? I have another student of mine that is a senior, right? Late 80s. And wakes up, what was reported to me was wakes up about 3 o'clock in the morning, 3 to 4 times a week in a panic, takes a lorazepam, can't go back to sleep until the lorazepam kicks in, wakes up in the morning groggy from taking the lorazepam at 3 o'clock in the morning. Taught this person not mine. I don't know an emotional freedom technique, but taught her the tapping. And they reported back that no longer having to use the lorazepam, because when they wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning with a panic attack, they use the tapping now and go back to sleep. Then, of course, when they wake up in the morning, they feel clear and fresh because they didn't have to use that lorazepam in the middle of the night. So those are big things. Those are big deals. And I personally had been using it for anxiety and panic attacks for years before I did some research, creating material for my handout. I had developed a series of 12 classes that I teach at our local community center, one of them being on emotional freedom technique. So while I was developing my material and researching, I came across information that explains all of these new studies, recent studies, I don't know, in the last handful of years, that have found all of these physiological benefits of emotional freedom technique. And so now when I'm working with clients or students, I like to teach them that it doesn't need to be as used as needed, right? So when I learned the technique over 15 years ago, and I was trained in it, back then it was used and they'd had a great success treating patients with anxiety and PTSD. But it was considered for those purposes only, really. And while I was doing that research and found that all of these new studies are showing these physiological benefits, and I'm talking everything from reducing heart rate, lowering blood pressure, to upregulating gene expression, down regulating immune response. So big deals on a cellular level. So emotional freedom technique utilizes the meridians, right? So in Chinese medicine, there's 12, they believe that there's 12 meridians that run through the body, those energy pathways. And in Chinese medicine, they believe that when there's blockages in those energetic pathways, by clearing them, we open them up and return to health. So we restore our overall health by keeping those energetic pathways open and clear. Emotional freedom technique utilizing those energetic pathways is obviously why we have all the benefits that we have when we're using it. So that being said, I'm considering how many people out there have no idea that this technique exists. And so one of the reasons that I wanted to offer it now, right? Like I said, this will be on repeat from here on out, but right now it's December. Right now we're coming up on Christmas. Everybody I know is stressed out, myself included. And so yes, while this technique can absolutely help us reduce that stress load, right? Bring us back into a place where we're feeling calm and relaxed because we're, helping our central nervous system, guiding our central nervous system back to that homeostasis. But also too, it's the gift that keeps on giving. And when I teach it, I like to say, when in doubt, tap it out. So not only can we use it as needed, right? If we're having high anxiety, if we're having a panic attack, if we're feeling stressed out, but because we now have all of those studies proving the physiological benefits, when I teach on it, I remind people that we can do it all day, every day, right? Now, my friend's mother, my recommendation was to do 5 minutes of tapping 3 times a day. When I teach it to yoga students and in other classes, I like to tell people if we start our day with 5 minutes of tapping, finish our day with 5 minutes of deep belly breath work, our whole world will feel like a better place. And so there's a lot of truth in that, right? So studies show with deep belly breath work, right, that even 5 minutes a day of deep belly breath work can increase the oxygen in our brain by up to 40%. So not only are you increasing the oxygen in your brain, but you're supporting your circulatory system, right? You're strengthening your respiratory system, pushing the lymphatic fluid through the lymphatic system. So if you want to add that protocol to your life where you're tapping 5 minutes every morning and then doing 5 minutes of deep belly breath work every evening, try it, see how that goes for you. The emotional freedom technique, I will go ahead and teach in the second half of this program here, is easy to use, right? It's free, it's safe and effective, right? And it's funny because I know those words have really been used to death, safe and effective, but this is legitimately safe and effective for anybody, for all users. My favorite part is that it's free. It's self-healing, right? So you don't need a practitioner. You don't need to spend any money. You can use it anytime, anywhere. Now, granted, you might look a little silly if you're not into, tapping on your face out in public. Maybe you're in the middle of the mall or something and you're like having anxiety. You might not want to start tapping, or maybe you do. Maybe you don't mind that. It's up to you. But I like to tell everybody that I teach this technique to, and I'll go ahead and share it again. Teach everyone you know. take this tool, pass it along, please. It's important, it's valuable. In the studies that I was researching and reading about, they were explaining that it could be used as medical intervention. And it is unfortunate that it's not, in my opinion, because there are so many times where people could genuinely be helped utilizing this. And it's free. So please share, right? You can use this link to this show and send it to your friends. After you've learned how to do it, you'll have the muscle memory, and it's so easy. It's so easy to use. You can just show your friends. This last June, I went down to visit my cousin. They were getting married, and I walked into the house, and their daughter-in-law was having a panic attack. They were headed out. I was headed in. We were all supposed to hang out. It's like, where are you guys going? She goes, I'm going to go to the hospital. I'm having a panic attack. I need help. I said, can you give me a few minutes? If you'd like, I can teach you a technique. If not, that's okay too. And she went ahead and took me up on it. We got her panic attack down from a 10 to a 3, I think it was, and avoided a visit to the hospital, right? So I don't think that I can undervalue this tool. It's one that's, in my opinion, should be common knowledge, and it's not. And I think I'm going to do my best to try to push it out into the world to the point where it becomes common knowledge so that we all have it. But again, it's the gift that keeps on giving. So part of me wants to say, happy holidays. This is my gift to you. When we come back from the break, I'm going to take a break for a minute. When we come back from the break, I'll go ahead and walk us through that and teach you how to do it for yourself. But I just kind of wanted to give you some insight into some of the things that I've witnessed with it. And you, as you practice it, may have your own experiences with it. But I do hope that you remember to use it when you need it and that it serves you well as well. So thank you so much for tuning in. There's some information about what we're going to be doing when we come back. And when we come back, we'll get into tapping. I will model it, walk you through it. And that way, as you're watching, you can gain the muscle memory by tapping along. Again, I'm your host, Trish Smith. You're tuned into Transformation Talk Radio, listening to Pure Intuitive Talk. Hi, everybody. I am Trish Smith, your Pure Intuitive Guide. You can find me at pureintuitiveguide.com. I have a private practice as a holistic life coach where I teach people tools from emotional freedom technique to clearing our energy using our drum and our singing bowl and all that other fun stuff. So I like to tackle the holistic avenues, right? The mental, the physical, the spiritual, with all the tools that I can get my hands on and pass them along to you. That is exactly why I am considered your intuitive guide, is because the information is here for you and I am the channel that is able to deliver that to you if you're struggling with hearing it yourself. You can find me at pureintuitiveguide.com. I'm Trish Smith, the host of Pure Intuitive Talk and your Pure Intuitive Guide. Welcome back, everybody. You're listening to Pure Intuitive Talk. I'm your host, Trish Smith. Today, I am passing along my gift to you is the emotional freedom technique. And I wanted to also touch base on the founder, right? His name is Gary Craig. His website is emofree.com. And since then, I want to say it was in the 70s that he developed the technique. Since then, there's, tons and tons of YouTube videos out there. And it's kind of funny because when you start looking, it'll be like tapping for money, tapping for this, tapping for that, right? But if you're interested in his work, please go to emofree.com. And his website is a wealth of knowledge. I mean, it's cram-packed with information there. So yeah, check that out if you're interested in his videos as well. But as promised, let's get going on how to do the emotional freedom technique, aka tapping. Okay. So the first thing that we want to do is identify our issue. When I'm training for training purposes, I utilize the neck shoulder tension for the issue, because typically people are most likely experiencing some neck tension. But when you're practicing it for yourself, the way that Gary Craig teaches is that we bring up the emotion that we want to clear. And so that may be anxiety, that may be panic, that may be anger or frustration, maybe sadness. So, but his teaching is that you bring up the emotion you want to clear. And with your setup phase, you're using a sentence that goes like, even though I'm feeling all of this anxiety, or even though I'm feeling all of this shoulder tension, I love and accept myself, right? Now, I've been using this technique over 15 years, and you can say that sentence, okay? And I worked with a practitioner where we would go for 45 minutes at a time, bringing up the next emotion, next emotion, next emotion that would come up, and we clear them, clear them, clear them, clear them. And it was excellent, excellent practice. You can do that. You can do it with yourself. You can work with a practitioner. It's amazing. It really is. However, the truth is that even if we have no language, we are still tapping those meridians that are clearing those energetic pathways, right? So you can say something out loud, you can say something inside of your head, and I teach that you don't have to say anything at all. So with that being said, we are going to go ahead and identify the issue here today for practice, that we have neck and shoulder tension. So now that we've identified the issue, we want to go ahead and test the initial intensity. And we use a scale from 1 to 10, 10 being the strongest, 1 being the least, right? So right now, if I tune into my neck tension, I'm getting a 7. And I have an old neck injury, so so I hope yours is less than mine. But my number right now is a 7. We'll store that number, set that number to the side, right? And from there, we're going to go ahead and do our setup phase. We do this setup phase 3 different times on our karate chop. So this is considered our karate chop. We tap here, right? So we'll say the phrase 3 times. Even though I'm experiencing this neck tension, I love and accept myself. Even though I'm experiencing this neck tension, I love and accept myself. Even though I'm experiencing this neck tension, I love and accept myself. Then we come to the top of the head. The point is right about on the top, so if you just kind of tap around on there, you'll hit it. Even though I'm experiencing this neck tension, I love and accept myself. Then we come here where the brow starts, and these meridian points are run parallel in the body, so they can be tapped on either side. Sometimes I tap both. Sometimes you do one side or the other, depending on what side your dominant is. Choose a side. Even though I'm experiencing this neck tension, I love and accept myself. Then we come to the outer eye. There's this bone here, kind of dips a little bit. So the outer eye, even though I'm experiencing this neck tension, I love and accept myself. Then we come under the eye. Even though I'm experiencing this neck tension, I love and accept myself. We'll come under the nose. Even though I'm experiencing this neck tension, I love and accept myself. Chin. Even though I'm experiencing this neck tension, I love and accept myself. And we come to the collarbone. The collarbone ends about here for me, so I'll come about an inch and kind of tap around so you're hitting that point. Even though I'm experiencing this neck tension, I love and accept myself. Then we come under the arm, which is about where the bra strap lies for most women. Even though I'm experiencing this neck tension, I love and accept myself. We'll do 2 more rounds, so we'll come back to our karate chop. Even though I'm experiencing this neck tension, I love and accept myself. Back to the top of the head. Even though I'm experiencing this neck tension, I love and accept myself. Eyebrow. Even though I'm experiencing this neck tension, I love and accept myself. Outer eye. Even though I'm experiencing this neck tension, I love and accept myself. Under the eye. Even though I'm experiencing this neck tension, I love and accept myself. Under the nose. Even though I'm experiencing this neck tension, I love and accept myself. Under the chin. or chin. Even though I'm experiencing this neck tension, I love and accept myself. Collarbone. Even though I'm experiencing this neck tension, I love and accept myself. Back to the under the arm. Even though I'm experiencing this neck tension, I love and accept myself. We'll do one more round. So karate chop. Even though I'm experiencing this neck tension, I love and accept myself. Even though I'm experiencing this neck tension, I love and accept myself. Eyebrow. And you can shorten the phrase a little bit. Even though I'm experiencing this neck tension. Outer eye. Even though I'm experiencing this neck tension. Under the eye. Even though I'm experiencing this neck tension. Under the nose. Even though I'm experiencing this neck tension. Chin. Even though I'm experiencing this neck tension. Collarbone. Even though I'm experiencing this neck tension, I love and accept myself. Then we'll go back to under the arm. Even though I'm experiencing this neck tension, I love and accept myself. We'll stop here. I usually do about 3 rounds, and then I'll go back and check the intensity again. So now we'll go ahead and tune back in, testing the intensity. My number is coming to a 4 now. So what I've done is I've gone ahead and reduced the neck tension that I was experiencing from a 7 to a 4. So imagine if that's anxiety. Imagine if you're in a place and you're experiencing a lot of anxiety, and you can slip into a bathroom, you can slip around the corner, you can do it in your car. There's times I'm driving and I'm tapping, I'm like, you know. Imagine being able to reduce your anxiety, the intensity of your anxiety from a 7 to a 4 with 3 rounds of tapping. Pretty handy dandy, right? Now, as we tap, we want to do about 5 to 7 taps on each one. And like I'd mentioned while we were tapping, you can, you know, shorten down your phrase a little bit. It's one of those things you can do it however you want to do it. You can make it into a practice that serves you well, that feels good to you, using language that feels right for you. I've worked with clients that have had a hard time saying the words I love and accept myself. And so sometimes we use other language, or sometimes we use that language so that it becomes natural and it feels better to be able to say, I love and accept myself, and get good at that, because I do believe that's also a good practice. But that is the sequence, right? I wanted to practice it with you so that you gain that muscle memory. Now, what happens when we're practicing the emotional freedom technique, let's say we're having a panic attack. We tune into that initial intensity. You're like, scale of 1 to 10, it's an 11, you know, it's a 12. Been there, done that. Yeah, those stories are for later. But you can get it to come down maybe to an 8, right? Say you start at a 10 and it comes down to an 8. You're like, I'm still having anxiety attack, right? It's not great. Do another round, check back in. Now I've gotten it down to a 6. Oh, good. Okay, maybe do another round, maybe get it down to 4. So you continue tapping through those sequences until one of 2 things happens. You get it down to a number you're more comfortable with, or you plateau. There's been times where I've ended up in an emergency situation, and I've taken my anxiety from a 10 to a 4, and I'm not able to really get it under a 4. But I'll tell you what, it's a whole lot better than I was at a 10. So it's kind of like, I'll take it. But there you go. There you have it. That's the emotional freedom technique, AKA tapping. One more quick story for you. I think I shared this in a previous episode. I have used it on my grandsons. I've watched them either as infants dealing with indigestion or teething. And I've gone ahead and just pressed into a little bit, you know, pressed in, press, very, you know, just gently, because they're infants, right? And watch their little bodies, right? I highly suggest teaching it to your kids, teaching it to your teenagers, teaching it to your grandma. You're getting my gist, right? Anyways, a lot of our youth are experiencing high anxiety nowadays. Tap before you go to school. go to the bathroom and tap on your lunch break, whatever. Anyways, it's just something that I believe every single one of us should have in the back pocket. And again, it's my holiday gift to you. And I just appreciate that it's out there. I appreciate that we have this tool. And I feel like the more people we can help, the better off we are as a collective. So that was why I wanted to dedicate one of these episodes to it specifically, because I've had nothing but success with it. Another thing that I will mention with that is that even if you don't feel anything, it's working, kind of like your vitamins. The physiological benefits that the body experiences from practicing emotional freedom technique are there. I mean, if you even want to play scientist with yourself, like I like to do, you could check your blood pressure using your blood pressure machine and do some tapping and check it again and just see, right? Experiment with what it is doing in your body. But it is giving you all of those physiological benefits, whether or not you feel like you need the technique in the moment. But we've had tons of stories where people are experiencing significant changes in their pain and anxiety and all kinds of other things. So thank you so much for listening. It's my pleasure to be here. I'm grateful for the opportunity to offer some of these techniques that I've been taught and have been really good to me over many, many years. So thank you so much again. I'm Trish Smith, your host of Pure Intuitive Talk, and I will see you the next time. Thank you for listening to Pure Intuitive Talk with me, Trish Smith, your Pure Intuitive Guide. Come back and join us for encouragement to take responsibility and to connect to your whole being. Remember that every moment is the right moment to choose peace, acceptance, and forgiveness. We all have the courage to look deep within, get real with ourselves, and make upgrades to our ways of interacting with the world. It's been my privilege to share this hour with you. For more information about me, go to pureintuitiveguide.com. That's pureintuitiveguide.com. Thanks again, and we will see you here next time on Transformation Talk Radio.